All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down a really critical challenge that a lot of modern men are facing, this kind of neurological trap that's just hijacking their focus and their drive. And we're going to lean on the incredible insights of Stanford neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman to unpack it all.
So just to set the stage for why this is such a big deal, let's start with a pretty shocking number. Since just the year 2000, the average guy's testosterone levels have dropped by over 25%. Now that's not just some random statistic, it's a huge red flag for a much bigger problem that our modern world is just making worse.
So what is going on here? Well, in this first part, the modern hijack, we're going to look at how today's technology, especially its super smart algorithms, have gotten unbelievably good at tapping into the very core circuits of male motivation.
And this, right here, is the heart of the trap. Guys are getting caught in these digital loops, the endless scrolling, the rabbit holes of porn, the next level in a video game, that are all expertly designed to feel like you're making progress, like you're pursuing something. But in reality, you're just spinning your wheels.
To really get why this hijack works so well, we need to pop the hood and look at the brain's chemistry. It really all boils down to two key molecules that work together to create this powerful system in the male brain, what you could call the dopamine-testosterone engine.
So let's start with testosterone. And you might think you know what it does, but Dr. Huberman has this beautifully simple definition. Testosterone is the molecule that makes effort feel good. How? Well, it basically turns down the volume on the brain's fear center, the amygdala, which makes hard things feel less scary and way more doable.
And then we have dopamine. Now you hear it all the time called the pleasure molecule, but that's not really the whole story. Its true job is to be the molecule of motivation. It's the chemical that drives us to get up and go after things. It's the thrill of the hunt, not just the reward itself.
And here is the absolute key. In the male brain, these two aren't working separately. They're tied together at the hip. Testosterone makes the effort feel good, and dopamine drives you to do the pursuing. Put them together, and you've got this incredible engine. It's literally designed for taking on the real world and getting things done.
Okay, so if guys are wired with this amazing engine for action, how in the world are they getting so stuck? Well, this next part explains how modern tech has figured out how to trap that very engine in something called a closed loop. To understand this, let's use an analogy. And this statistic is just wild. 85% of a casino's revenue comes from slot machines. Now, it wasn't always like this, and the reason it changed is a perfect lesson in how to hijack the human brain.
See, the big switch happened when casinos took a page out of the video game playbook. Old-school slot machines, kinda predictable, but the new electronic ones introduced a practically infinite variety of sounds, lights, and combinations. This endless novelty keeps the brain absolutely hooked, chasing smaller and smaller little dopamine hits for hours on end. And that, of course, brings the question right back to us. Think about your own habits online, the endless feed on social media, the next recommended video, the next match in a game. Are these platforms basically just super sophisticated slot machines built to keep you pulling that lever with a never-ending stream of novelty? This is exactly what a closed loop is. It's a digital hamster wheel. It's a system that makes you feel like you're moving, like you're accomplishing something, but all your effort, all your focus, it just stays inside the system. You're just a consumer in a cycle, and when you finally look up, hours have gone by, and nothing in the real world has changed. And, some platforms have taken this to a whole other level. Take something like OnlyFans. It's not just about the explicit content, it's what some people call relational pornography. It combines that infinite slot machine novelty with the illusion of a personal connection, hijacking multiple deep-seated biological drives all at once. It's an incredibly potent closed loop.
Okay, so that's the problem, and it's a serious one. It's a powerful hijack. But it's not unbreakable. So now let's flip the script and talk about the solution, how you can start reclaiming your biological drive.
Now, this is the tough part. This isn't about just cutting back a little. From a purely neurological point of view, the very first and maybe the hardest step is to go cold turkey, total abstinence. Just like with any other addiction, you have to completely cut off the source to give your brain's reward pathways a chance to heal and reset. And this leads us to the central idea of the whole solution, learning to invest your dopamine instead of just spending it. Think about it. Things like mindless scrolling or porn, they're like junk food for your brain. You're just spending your motivational currency for a quick, cheap hit.
But things like building a skill, working out, or building real relationships, those are investments. They're hard at first, but they pay you back with huge returns.
But, and this is so important, just stopping the old habit isn't enough. You can't just leave a vacuum there. You have to actively replace it with something better. That natural drive is still there, so you have to consciously point that energy away from the closed loop and towards actions that have a real, tangible impact on your actual life.
So where on earth do you start? Well, you start small, super small. Organize your desk, clean your room, finish one task that has a clear beginning and end. Do anything, literally anything, that gives you positive feedback from the real world. It's all about switching from consuming to creating. Take charge of one small thing you can actually control.
And here's where the magic happens. These tiny little investments start to create a positive feedback loop. They begin to rewire your brain, rebuilding that critical connection between putting in effort and seeing a real-world reward. This is how you strengthen that dopamine testosterone engine and start an upward spiral of real motivation and real energy.
I think this is just such a powerful way to look at all of this. This isn't about some personal moral failing. The very systems in your brain that are being hijacked, that drive for novelty, for pursuit, for making an impact, those are the best parts of your biology. And just understanding that they're being misused for somebody else's profit, well, that can be a really powerful first step toward taking back control.
So we'll end with this question, and it's one to really sit with. Think of your dopamine as the currency of your life. It's your motivation, it's your focus, it's your time. Every single day, you are making choices about how to use that currency. So the question is, are you just spending it, or are you investing it in the life you actually want to build?